The question that people have been asking for over a year now for Kyle Busch has been answered by RCR, which I still can't believe is happening, but here we are. Of course, as I'm sure you are all aware by now, Kyle Busch is no longer with Joe Gibbs Racing. He will now go to Richard Childress Racing in 2023 and will drive the 8 car. And today, the 8 car got a rebrand. It's got some of the same sponsors that you've seen before with Tyler Reddick, but it's got a new font, it's got a new look, and it's got one new paint scheme has been released. So let's talk about it. Let's talk about the different sponsors that Kyle Busch is going to have, the different number fonts, and that's what I want to show you first. Here is the new number. Kyle Busch in the 8, of course, the old 8, looking like the old DEI number 8. But they have decided to change it to this format of 8 for Kyle Busch, a new style, a new era, I guess, for Kyle Busch and Richard Childress Racing. So they decided to do a new logo, a new number. It's a unique number for sure. I mean, I like the old 8, but this one's, as I said, it's unique. I think it's going to take some time for it to grow on me. I don't think it's terrible looking. It's just that it's brand new. I just saw it. It's a unique logo. So there you have it. RCR store has a bunch of merchandise right now: T-shirts, hats, keychains, license plate holders, all this other merchandise with that number 8 on it, with Kyle Busch's name on it. So if you're a Kyle Busch fan looking for merchandise, you go to RCR store, Kyle Busch store, whatever you need to do. And you go get yourself some new Kyle Busch gear. People have been waiting for it. The Kyle Busch RCR gear, well, there is some now. And then also the sponsors. Let's talk about the sponsors for Kyle Busch. They released a little 30-second video with a quote from Kyle Busch, and then they also showed which sponsors Kyle Busch will have in 2023. All of these, there were some questions with the sponsorship at RCR, which was, now that Reddick's going to 2311, will the sponsors that he had in 2022, 2021, 2020 when he was at RCR, will those sponsors stay with Reddick and travel with him to 2311, or will they stay with RCR? We've seen instances of both in the past. When Bubba Wallace decided to leave Richard Petty Motorsports for 2311, he took some sponsors with him. McDonald's went with him. Columbia went with him. I think some other sponsors went with him. So, that was one example of a driver leaving and the sponsor staying with the driver versus the team. And then we've seen, obviously, drivers leave and the team fills in. Like with the 24 car, that has stayed with Exalta has stayed with the 24 car despite who the driver is, with the exception of Chase Elliott. But William Byron has kept that Exalta with the 24. Anyways, here are the sponsors for Kyle Busch in 2023 that are RCR sponsors that were with Reddick that are now going to be with Kyle Busch. Cheddar's will stay with RCR, and the number 8 car, they will be with Kyle Busch. They usually have a pretty neat paint scheme. We'll look at that paint scheme here in a minute. The next one is 3 Chai. Don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, but that won a couple of races with Reddick last year. Lenovo, it was reported a couple weeks ago that Lenovo would be staying with Kyle Busch in the 8, or staying with the 8 car now that Kyle Busch is going to be there, so that's not really a surprise. The next one is Alsco Uniforms. They have sponsored the 8 car for a bit. They have also sponsored races in NASCAR before. BetMGM just added on to Richard Childress Racing within the last couple of years. Of course, Reddick had that car, and then also Austin Dillon ran a couple of races with that sponsorship, so there you go there. But those are the sponsors that Kyle Busch has. BetMGM, Alsco Uniforms, Cheddar's, Lenovo. I might be missing one, but you guys saw it. I listed them already. But here's the paint scheme. The first paint scheme from the Kyle Busch RCR era. There you go. The Cheddar's paint scheme, it's unique. It definitely is. The black and orange, the old one used to be a white and orange. It had all the little croissants in there. This one is a black and kind of a darker burnt orange. And you got the croissant still. It's 2 big croissants on the back of the car versus the little tiny ones on the side. It's not a bad paint scheme. I like the color scheme. I did like the old car, though, with all the little tiny croissants going across the whole car. I wish they could have kept that design, but other than that, it's not a bad looking car. You get all the sponsors in there. You use up the space well with the number being moved forward. It's a decent looking car. The font, once again, is going to be, it may take a while to get used to, but that's all we got for Kyle Busch and the 8 so far. As I said, you know, it's going to be weird seeing him in the number 8 car, seeing him not in the 18 car, not even seeing the 18 car on track, but it's a new era for Kyle Busch. It's a new era for Richard Childress Racing. We are witnessing it now. We are seeing the reveal of the number font, the paint scheme. So if you're a Kyle Busch fan, I'm sure you're excited about this. I'm sure you're looking forward to seeing the different paint schemes and stuff for Kyle Busch. But yeah, that's all I got for today. Thanks for watching. I know I haven't made a lot of videos the past couple weeks. It's been a busy couple of weeks. I'm trying. But any other news that comes this way, I will do my best to let you know in a timely manner. And I'll see you in the next video.